Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is all about what medical billing and coding credential do employers prefer. If you're brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue, I'm a medical coder. Disclaimer first. I will start off by saying this. What I say today is from my knowledge base, from what I know of the industry. Part of my responsibilities as a YouTuber on YouTube and doing medical coding and talking about medical coding is to really be aware of the industry and what is most current, so that way I can bring you guys the most current information. Now, I spend a lot of time looking up job descriptions, and I spend a lot of time looking for jobs on the internet, so that way I know what to tell you guys, what to look for, and what are they saying out in the industry. So from what I have seen, these are my observations, all right? You may not agree with me with what I say, but here's the thing. I have a very blunt nature, so this video is going to be very blunt. So without further ado, let us begin. All right, a lot of people will ask me these questions in a variety pack, right? They'll say, which credential is better? Which association is better? Will having more than one credential help me? Well, you know, if I want to work in only a certain setting, you know, which one would be better? Okay, so here we go. I will start by also saying this. There is not one association that is better than the other. There are very good coders with both associations, and there are coders that need a lot of improvement with both associations. The caliber of every medical coder is different. So I hope that if somebody's telling you, oh, that association's no good or that association's no good, that you listen very carefully to what they're saying. Because sometimes people have a very biased opinion, and there are people who are with certain associations, and that is all they're going to talk about, and that is all they're going to promote, because they feel like that is the right thing to do. Here's the thing. I've known very good coders with both associations, both the American Health Information Management Association and the American Academy of Professional Coders. I personally do not care what credential a medical coder has. As a medical coder, I don't care, because of the simple fact that everybody is different and everybody's knowledge base is different. You can have an entire alphabet after your name, but if you don't have the experience to back that up, number one, or if you don't have the insights on how to code, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. What I look for in a medical coder, and not that I'm an employer, but what I look for in a medical coder is somebody that is willing to take direction, and meaning that if somebody's telling you, hey, I saw this coding clinic, I saw this reference, that you're willing to say, oh, okay, well, let me look at that, and not, no, you're wrong. We have to be able to stand up for ourselves when we're arguing for like our audits and things, but at the same time, a very mature and understanding and knowledgeable coder will be okay with, okay, I can see another person's point of view. So when I say that there is really no credential that you could get that would elevate you to some status that would make it like, oh, this person knows everything, okay? They all have their pluses, obviously, because they're all credentials. As long as you are credentialed through a RHIA or Aapc, you're already on the right track. It's what you do with your credential that's going to make the difference, whether you continue to study or not. Now, I'm going to talk about 3 credentials, and I'm going to talk about the 3 main ones that I'm talking about are the 3 main ones that I see a lot asked for when I'm looking for jobs for medical coders. All right, it is the CCS, which is a Certified Coding Specialist. Now, this is the gold standard of medical coding credentials. Why do I call it the gold standard of medical coding credentials? Because this one credential, and there is no other one like it, this one credential says that you can code both inpatient and outpatient. And if you're looking for the medical coding job listings, you will see the majority of the time they're asking for the CCS. The CCS is a very advanced exam. You have to have met the educational requirements for it, or you have to go through a approved RHIA program in order to sit for this credential. So it's very important that if you are thinking about taking this credential, that you do your research and you make sure that you study, because this exam is one of the toughest in the industry. all right? Because it is testing you on both inpatient and outpatient coding. You have to know about the CPT manual, the outpatient procedures, and you have to know about the ICD-10 PCS manual, and that is the inpatient procedure coding. Two completely different things in the grand scheme of things. So, but this is the one that if you get this credential, it's going to open a lot of doors for you, because this says that you can code either inpatient or outpatient. And a lot of times facilities are asking for this one because they want to be able to move their coders anywhere, right? They want to be able to put them anywhere, and they want to be able to use them however it is beneficial for that facility, all right? Now, the other one is the CCA, and there's also with AHIMA, and that is a Certified Coding Associate. Now, this is considered the beginner or entry level medical coding credential. You do not have to go through a program. You do not have to go to a school. You don't even have to go to college to be able to sit for this certification exam. You can take a program, or you can self-study. All right, and I do have a video on self-study if you're interested in that. It is possible, even if you have no background in medical, to self-study for this type of exam, because it is going to be testing you on basically the beginner knowledge and getting you into the field. And it's up to you what you do with it next. This one also tests you on the inpatient side of the house as well. So it does cover inpatient and outpatient coding. That is something to know. It is a shorter exam. It is 2 hours, but do not let that fool you. It is a tough 2 hours. And so you have to be able to maintain speed, and you have to be able to really know what you're doing, especially when you're walking in and you have no experience at all yet, okay? With the CCS, they do recommend that you have had experience, but again, if you're in an approved program, they're going to be training you on how on what is going to be on this exam and that kind of thing. So that is those two credentials. But yes, if you are looking to get into medical coding, you can if you have either one of these, the CCS or the CCA, you're good to go. And that is with AHIMA again. So with AAPC, they have the CPC credential. That is a Certified Professional Coder. Now, when you first get this credential, it will have a -A at the end, which means apprentice. They have a 2-year work requirement in order to remove this A. You can speed up the process by going through a program that they have on their website called Practicode. It is an educational product. It is not considered experience. There are some people that ask me, can I use this as experience if I do Practicode? You cannot. Sometimes employers will take education, which you could put that down as education. But in order to count experience, you have to be able to be under production standards and accuracy standards. That's the only way you're going to be able to have that kind of experience listed, right? But again, if you are taking Practicode, Practicode can be done, and it fulfills 1 year of the 2-year requirement in order to get that A removed. So if you are working and you are doing Practicode simultaneously, as soon as you've reached your 1-year anniversary at work, and you've completed your Practicode, you can put in for your A removal. So you can be just a CPC. So that is a requirement that is with AAPC. And also, to take an exam with AAPC, you do have to be a member. They do require that. So that is an additional fee. AHIMA does not have this requirement. They have a separate fee for members and non-members. So that's a good thing there too as well. But with AAPC, yes, you do have to be a member. And a lot of people are asking for the CPC as well. CPC is for the outpatient side only. That's what they do. If you are looking for like inpatient, they're going to want either the CIC, which is the AAPC version of the inpatient credential. That is a certified inpatient coder. But if you are going to start out just brand new in the field, you can start with the CPC, and that is totally fine. There's lots of doors that will open for you as well, because employers are really looking for this credential. And like I said, if you have either the CCS, the CCA, or the CPC, you're good to go. You only need one. And a lot of people think, well, I'm going to get the CPB, which is a certified professional biller. You do not have to be certified to be a biller, guys. The only reason that I keep repeating this is because this is going to be an additional fee that you're going to have to pay, because when you get a credential, you have to have continuing education units to maintain this credential. You have 2 years from the time that you start, right, to that you get your credential. You have 2 years to meet your continuing education unit requirements. And the associations are different, so they're going to ask for different amounts. And some, I should say some, because not all, I've been finding lately. Some employers will offer continuing education units as a benefit of employment, but some will not. So there's plenty of places where you can find free continuing education units. You can find them. You can look on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has got a ton of really good information when it comes to finding free continuing education units. So if you're interested in that, check that out. It's all about research, guys. And a lot of times, you know, if you're going to ask questions, make sure they are very direct. Make sure they are very to the point, because if it is a general or broad question that I get, I will often refer the people to a video or a website. Okay, so as long as it's very specific, then I'm happy to answer, because sometimes a broad question can lead to a broad conversation, but it's not maybe what the person was wanting. So that's why I say, make sure that if you're going to ask me a question, to please make sure that it's very specific. But if you're looking for free continuing education units, there's lots of leads for that on LinkedIn. So that is a resource guide that you can check out. Okay. Now, when you hear, sometimes you may hear at work, well, this association is better, this credential is better. Again, like I said, it's going to depend on the coder themselves. And just because you have a credential with AHIMA doesn't make you better. If you have a credential with Aapc, it does not make you better. Everybody is equal in this, that, okay, you have your credential. Now, what is your knowledge base? How much do you know? That's the important thing. This is why I tell you guys, I don't look at people's credentials. I'm not a credential snob. When they say, oh, well, they're with Aapc, well, great. And, you know, I don't care. What do you know? What can I learn from you? That is one of the things that I do ask when I'm talking with people, is what can I learn from you? What can you teach me? Because I think that when you are in an industry that is based on education and is based on learning, that the free flow share of ideas really does help. And so that is, you know, why YouTube is such a great platform, because it does open up that dialogue and that conversation. But again, if you're confused about which credential to get, I am going to leave one of the other explanation videos that I have that I really go into detail. But don't fall into that trap of, you know, listening to people when they say, oh, this credential is better or that credential is better. If you are credentialed with AHIMA or Aapc, you're fine. Okay, you're good to go. It's anybody else, any other credential associations or organizations that I have noticed that employers don't really ask for. All right, so if you are looking to be a very competitive medical coder and to have a credential that employers want, AHIMA or Aapc, any of those credentials, you're good to go. All right, like I said, the only thing that I really don't recommend is getting like the biller credential, because of the simple fact that you don't need to be certified to be a medical biller. If you're going to concentrate on anything, concentrate on getting a medical coding credential, because that is what is going to help you. And so that is just my opinion on that. But it is a lot. And like I said, all you need is one. When I'm looking in the job listings, all they're asking for is one credential. The candidate must be certified with AHIMA or Aapc, must have a CCA, a CCS. Sometimes they'll say Ccs-P as well, as one other one I forgot to mention. Ccs-P is a certified coding specialist, physician-based, and that is also offered with AHIMA. That is all outpatient coding. It's the very specialized specialty outpatient coding credential. That one is also in demand. But like I said, the more popular ones, I named those three. But of course, the Ccs-P is also in demand as well. So again, with Aapc, you're looking at the CPC. And, that is what when I'm looking in these job postings, I'm looking. And if there's anything new, if there's anything different I see, then of course I'm looking it up. Because I would never want to share information that was just like, well, only in this region of the United States it's good, or it's more prevalent in this area. I have noticed though, there are some regions where they're asking more for the AHIMA credentials than they are for the Aapc credentials, and that may just be the facility itself. But it should not stop you from still applying, okay? Because again, AHIMA and Aapc are the two major medical coding association powerhouses. So you still have a chance if you qualify, obviously, but you want to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward when you're out there looking for a job. But if you are just getting started and you're in school, it would be a good idea to get an idea of what credential you want to be able to sit for, and make sure that that program is training you for that particular credential. There's a lot of programs that train for either the CCA or the CPC. So when you're looking at your options, it's good to get a head start and know which one. I've known a lot of people who get all the way through the program, and then right at the end, they're like, okay, well, which credential are you going to sit for? And they're like, I don't know. And so that's sort of heartbreaking, because along the way, if you know which credential you're going to sit for, then you're going to be better prepared, because then you're going to know on the websites, they have the domains of the tests. And so that way you know what that test is covering, what domains it's covering. And you want to be able to have that information beforehand, because again, it's going to be more beneficial to you. So the sooner that you can decide which credential you want, the better. And if you're going to sign up for their membership, at least that way you can meet the members. You can try to see if you can find a mentor. And that's always a good thing, because especially when you're brand new, it is all about making those connections and networking. That's why websites like LinkedIn are very important, and they're very helpful. So you want to make sure that you are putting yourself in the right place at the right time, and that you're networking and you're being out there. Try to stay away from Facebook medical coding groups. I'm going to say that. I know this video is about which credential employers prefer, but I will always throw that out there. Facebook medical coding groups are full of a lot of biased opinions. I mean, to be honest, I'm sure there's some good ones out there, but there's a lot of biased opinions in those groups. And there's sometimes a lot of negativity, and I've heard of it. I've seen it. I've seen people literally decide not to do this because somebody discouraged them. And when you are brand new, right, and you are studying, this is like the most vulnerable time. So you want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with good knowledge and good people and sound information. That's what you want. And again, knowing where you're going is going to help you kind of ease some of that anxiety that you may feel when you're studying and you're like, oh, am I gonna pass this? Am I gonna know what I'm doing? Yes, but you have to clear the path yourself, and you have to know, okay, which way am I gonna go? I know from watching this video that the three most popular is the CCS, the CCA, and the CPC. There's also the Ccs-P that employers are asking for. So these four really are the ones that I can pick from. But the Ccs-P does require you it does have a few requirements before you can take it. So you have to check the website. So that way you can make sure that you would be eligible to sit for it. But for the beginning part, where a lot of programs are training, they are training either for the CCS, the CCA, or the CPC. So that is something to know. But again, guys, stay away from any kind of negativity. If you hear people say, oh, this association is better than that association, no, that's a biased opinion, because there's good coders with both associations, right? And I don't think that just because you belong to a certain association makes you any less than another coder, okay? Especially when you belong to either AHIMA or Aapc. Both of these have a lot of members. AHIMA is most steeped in history. It is the longest running. And, Aapc has a lot of members. So there is something to be said about that. I mean, to be very powerful in this industry, it's these two. So just saying. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions, or just let me know below, which credential are you going to be sitting for? You know, leave it in the comments below. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.